In this video, I'm gonna give you the 5 best tips and advice that not only help you pass, but also ace the FAA written exam. All right, enjoy this quick 10-second montage of flying clips, and we'll get into the video. Tip number 1, schedule your FAA written test at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance. It gives you enough time and room in order for you to prepare the necessary knowledge and skills to help you pass and ace that test. It also doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra time in front of you than too little time behind you. But I promise you, if you do just these 5 things, you will easily pass and ace your FAA written exam test. Had I known these things, I would have done probably a lot better. But of course, I did practice a few of these things that really helped me. Tip number 2, study simple. There's a ton of books, knowledge, information thrown at you, and you have like no clue which one to look at. For a while, I was looking through the blue book, going through each of those questions and answering them, but they would give you a bunch of other questions, and I felt really confused on which one was the right one. So that was not necessarily the best thing for me. Another thing I did was look at other YouTube videos on how to prepare for the FAA written exam, and they definitely did help. But not all of the questions that were presented were on the test, of course, and a lot of new things came up that were never even mentioned on YouTube. Which is why if I had prepared enough in advance and seen the right questions and the right answers in the most simplistic way, I would have probably done a whole lot better on my test. I did get an 80%, so I didn't just barely squeeze by. But of course, if I would have gotten an 85, 90, or 95%, the ground portion would have been a whole lot quicker and less grueling, and it would have been overall a more positive check ride experience. All right, tip number 3, you don't need books, you don't need a bunch of things. All you need is one single app. Sporty's Pilot FAA written test prep app is the best killer app to help you ace and pass the test. Believe me, if there's only one thing you look at, just look at this app. It's $15. So it's a little bit of money up front, but it's totally worth it because it saves you from having to spend another $170 just to retake the test later on if you failed it. So I highly encourage you invest at least $15 at the beginning so you don't have to spend over $200 on your next trial run if you didn't pass it the first time. So it definitely does help. Tip number 4, go through each system individually. In the app itself, it gives you multiple different systems, categories, and subjects. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the airplane stuck in a tower on the way in. I think it's towards the end of that, but it just popped on the radio, so I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. Each system has specific things, and if you're familiar with all the uniqueness of each individual system on its own, you can put it together in a more understanding and organized way. I would highly recommend when you first start looking at the app, just go through the ADS-B questions. There's only 11 total questions in this category, and it's going to really help you to know when and where ADS-B is required. It's not required under Class Charlie Aerospace. It is required in Class Charlie Aerospace, Class Bravo Aerospace, and it's definitely required anytime you're in an IFR flight plan. Put the app on flashcard mode. Go through each question and look at the answer, memorize the answer. Don't do a bunch of practice tests, just look at the answer for that question. Towards the end, when you're ready to take your test, like the night or the day or the week before, that's when you can start doing practice tests. But only do just a few of them to help not confuse you on the day of the test. That's cool. There's a Cessna taking off literally like right next to me here. I love this hangar, it's really fun. Get to see a lot of cool airplanes come through. Just always have a great time. Tip number 5, just go ahead and start reviewing each of the questions or the subjects you're unsure about. This is when you start prioritizing systems and questions or regulations that you're not really sure about, that are a little fuzzy. This is the time to start brushing up on those, to start going a little bit more in depth. Even if it's more in depth than what's on the test, it's really great to have a better understanding of what's going on in the world of aviation, not just to pass the test, but also for you as a pilot to help you know what to do in the right scenario. If you do those 5 things, you're going to do very well on your test. But overall, the test was a pretty good experience. It was only about an hour and a half, and you're given up to, I think, 4 hours to take the test. So you're given plenty of time. It's probably only going to take you 1 or 2 hours max. And if it takes you a little bit more time, that's totally okay too. But it's not a terribly hard test. It just takes a little bit of planning and preparation. But literally, you're given a cheat sheet for every single question on the test. So there's really no reason to fail or even to miss a single question. You just gotta make sure that you know the information and that you've prepared by looking at the right questions ahead of time and not getting confused with a bunch of the legalities or whatever, but knowing the actual question, the answer for which it is. Before taking practice tests, you should always look at flashcards so you don't mix up what the answer is versus what a throw-off question might look like. Anyways, I hope this helps you guys. I was really thankful when I passed the test and I didn't have to retake the entire thing. And it just felt like another huge milestone, a huge check mark just knocked right off the block. And it's gonna be such a relief. It's gonna be so empowering and so exciting. You're literally almost there to getting your private pilot's license. I can't wait, I'm rooting for you. Until then, fly safe, study hard, and remember, life is better in the air. See you in the next one. Peace.